Shalom, shalom, mishpocha. Welcome to another edition of Ray Bash's Ramblings. I'm your host, Rabbi Yehuda Ben Shomer, and today I'm going to be talking about a very delicate subject, which I kind of have some trepidation about discussing for the simple fact that I know that certain people will take what I say in the wrong way. And I'm going to be discussing the topic of playing the victim. What do I mean by playing the victim? Well, a victim is being a victim. Being a victim of anything is an event. It's an event. It's something that happens to you in an instant and in a moment of time. But sad to say, people have taken this event of being a victim of whatever it may be and turning it into a state of being, turning it into a state of mind, which it is never meant to be that way. Never. And for instance, if somebody has been had their name dragged through the mud, or let's say that somebody was raped, or somebody was cheated on by a significant other or a spouse or what have you, or if you're mugged or robbed, you're a victim. You are a victim within that circumstance. During that event, you become a victim. And once you become a victim, the next step is, are you going to continue to be a victim? Or are you going to rise above that situation and rise above that circumstance? Yes, I realize that there is a healing process that needs to take place. But far too often, people never get to that point of healing. Why? Because there is a morbid, self-narcissistic event that happens in certain people who are victims, and then they become lifetime victims. They play the role of a victim. Why? Because they always want to this, oh, woe is me, oh, woe is me, I've been dealt such a bad hand in life, you should feel sorry for me. When I worked at a children's home in Alabama, one of my boys decided to pull that stunt on one of his teachers at school. His teacher was disciplining him for something that he did wrong, and he said, well, you know what, you shouldn't do that to me, you should feel sorry for me because I live at the children's home. The teacher was like, I should feel sorry for you? Look, you get more toys at Christmas time than my kids do because you live at a children's home, and you want me to feel sorry for you? You're trying to use your living at a children's home as leverage to gain sympathy from me? I know the children's home, and I know the people at the children's home. I know that you're well treated and well taken care of, and you're better at that children's home than you would have ever been in your own home environment. He was trying to play the victim card. Oh, I'm a victim. Oh, please feel sorry for me. Please pay attention to me. What is the, okay, let's separate the event of being a victim of whatever it may be. A mugging, a rape, a slander, being cheated on, what have you. The event happened, the event occurred. Let's separate that from the state of mind that people go into after the event happens and they become a victim and play the victim. It is a subtle, very subtle and very sly form of selfishness. Why? Because what does a victim do? A victim always says, me, I. And you know what? It's disgusting. It's disgusting. If you are a man or a woman, you are created in the image of Almighty Elohim. It is beneath you and below you to continue to submit yourself to play a victim. If you play the victim, and you cannot get over the event that happens, and you let that event turn into a state of mind, into a state of being, and you live your life as a victim, you will never ever gain control of your life back. You need to set both feet on the ground. You need to hold your head high and acknowledge what happened, and seek some sort of counseling, seek some sort of healing, seek some sort of grief process to get you through that event. So that event can be over. You could rip that page out of the book of your life and toss it into the fire, and you can continue on living your life, no longer a victim, but a victor. What does the Bible say? The Bible says that in Mashiach, that in Elohim, that we are more than conquerors. And when you live your life as a victim, you are denying God His power. You are denying God His rightful place and rightful role and rightful position in your life. Playing the victim is you know how like there's some people that can't get dates to save their life? Why? Because they pulsate this persona, this air of being desperate. There could be a very beautiful, attractive woman, but nobody wants to go out with her. No one wants to date her. Why? Because she acts so needy. She acts so desperate. She has no self-esteem and no self-confidence. And that's the same thing that happens when you play the victim. You play the victim and you victimize yourself. You do not do yourself justice. You deny yourself of love. You deny yourself of comfort. You deny yourself of healing. You deny yourself of self-esteem and confidence and victory. So stop playing the victim, because you know what? It's disgusting and nobody likes it. It just like, you know, how magnets, when you have certain poles facing each other, they repel. You become a human repellent when you play the victim. You know, you cannot play the victim card all the time and expect to get sympathy the rest of your life for one event that happened to you. Yes, it happened. Yes, it's a kick in the pants. And everybody acknowledges that. But do you think you're the only one who's gone through a rough time? Or do you think you're the only one who's been a victim? Oh, but Rabbi, you don't understand. You know what? If something tragic happens to somebody, I'm there with them. I'll have my arm around them. I'll console them. I'll let them cry on my shoulder. I'll let them spill their guts to me and just vent on me. But there comes a time when that person has to stop doing that. Why do we have 7 days in Judaism for mourning somebody, for sitting Shiva? Because if we don't put a time limit on mourning, we're going to be mourning the rest of our lives, and we will be living in death and living in the past, and we will not get on with our lives. And Judaism forces us to put a stop to our mourning period and go on with our lives. It's the same with being a victim. When you become a victim, yes, you need to take that time to mourn, to cry, to heal, to get angry, to get sad, to get mad, to get depressed, to go through all of that grieving process and that healing process. But there comes a time where it needs to stop. There comes a time where you need to draw a line in the sand and say, I will no longer be a victim. Because if you continue to play the victim, you will be a victim the rest of your life, and you will find that people will do nothing but take advantage of you and kick you when you're down. Now, I know personally of someone who has played the victim. And they've played the victim all their lives. What happens when you play the victim? When you do something wrong, you don't blame yourself. You don't owe up to your wrongs. You lay the blame on somebody else. Oh, I did this wrong and terrible act because this happened to me in the past. You need to feel sorry for me. You need to understand this happened to me in the past and this is why I did what I did. Bull crap. Don't lay the blame on somebody else for the wrongs that you do and the wrongs you commit. I know somebody personally who blames every single thing they do wrong and every single thing that happens bad in their life, they blame it all on other people and they play the victim. And what has happened to this person? This person is the most miserable, most angry, most bitter person you would ever want to meet, because it's everybody else's fault. It's not their fault. And I can tell you, being on the outside looking into this situation, that probably 95 to 98% of everything that has happened to that person that's gone wrong, that person brought upon themselves because they played the victim. Have you ever heard about the law of attraction? You know, whatever you want, you know, like if you want good and positive things to happen to you, you have to be a good and positive person to attract those things to you. And if you're constantly negative and playing the victim, you're just gonna continue to draw bad things to you, and you're gonna be a victim all your life. You know what? Sometimes therapists and counselors and ministers and rabbis and pastors and what have you who are counseling people who've been victims, there comes a time that they recognize and know and realize that this person is playing the victim and that their time for mourning and grief is over and it's time to live your life again. And they will show tough love, and they basically will kick that person in the pants and say, hey, get up off your butt, get some clothes on, and get out there and live your life. Take back your life and stop playing a victim. You know, some people actually enjoy playing the victim because they like the attention. And it's a sickness that somebody needs to fess up to, confess, and be healed and delivered from. I wanted to bring this issue because I know that everybody knows somebody who's a victim. They know somebody who's a victim of something, and they know somebody who is playing the victim and is trying to milk that event for all it's worth, and they're living a lifestyle and they're having a mindset and a frame of mind of being a victim. You've got to rise above it. You've got to rise above it, because you will drown and it will kill you. It will be the death of you. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm not trying to be an incompassionate person. But I'm trying to show some tough love here and actually be a compassionate person. If I didn't really love people and really didn't care about people, I'd let them play the victim the rest of their life. Hey, let them self-destruct. What do I care? But because I love people and I care about people, I love and care enough to get mad, to offend them, and to get them mad at me, to say, hey, look, I recognize what you're doing. Yeah, this thing that happened to you was a really bad deal. That was a raw deal. You got cut a really nasty hand, but you know what? It's time to cut your losses, and it's time to stop playing the victim and quit being a baby and a bellyacre and a whiner about it, and get over it. Get over it. Not only that, get over yourself and start living your life. So I pray that people will please take what I said with the right frame of heart and the right frame of mind, which I intended this video to be. Because I want people to be healed. I want people to be delivered. I want people to be overcomers and to be happy and to get the most out of their life. And the only way that they're going to do that for people who's been victimized and a victim of something is to finally confess what you're doing as playing the victim, and take steps to mend that, to correct that, and to fix that, and to get up and to get out there and start living your life again. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Shalom and Shavua Tov. Bye-bye.